and a really warm welcome to Empowered Horizons 2023. Oh my God, I can't believe that I'm sitting here with all these ladies because normally I'm accustomed to just being here all by myself, having to keep the fort for an entire hour. Now you've got all of us, some really amazing minds here, and you've got the knowledge of them for the next hour. So we're going to talk about everything 2024. You tune in. I think there's already someone on. So welcome. If you've got any questions to any of us that as we are going along, just chip in. Anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, even if you think that it's silly, just fire ahead. Really love to hear from you. And so, ladies, Mercury, let's just do with a kind of icebreaker, and everyone just kind of chips in because there's no mics, kind of muted, nothing. It's all like free. With this week, with the Mercury energy and with the solstice, have you had any kind of weird stuff that's been going on with you? Honestly, when I was trying to put this event together, I had to redo the graphics, the writing, the links there. I don't know how many times. It was just like, and this one like, you just can't believe it. And even we bought a new Apple charger, and believe it or not, an Apple charger burnt out on us in like 12 hours. I mean, unbelievable. have any of you experienced something weird this week?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I had something major weird. I planned to stop work today, and it got to Tuesday afternoon. I just thought, no, I'm putting my holiday on. I'm putting my holiday on. I'm just putting it on. And because, like you, I had so many things that just weren't working, and I thought, I don't know about you guys, but for me, Spirit just is basically saying, for the love of God, woman, will you just pay attention? So I just very much went, you know what? You're right. It's off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I just listened and went with it. And the out of office went on, and it's been quite easy once I flowed with it.
No, absolutely. It's the best possible way is just kind of just try to keep it cool, laugh it off if you can, and carry on.
Yeah, the thing about Mercury retrograde, especially in Sagittarius, you have to accept the fact that it is going to impact travel. Mm-hmm. There are going to be travel delays. Like example, me and my friend Denise drove up here to the mountains of Tennessee. I'm in Appalachia right now because I'm spending Christmas with her and her family. And we planned on leaving about 4:00. Okay. We left about 6:30 because we both had things that came up. But, being an astrologer, I have learned to flow with this stuff. Like, I don't get stressed out because I kind of know it's coming, and I'm kind of accepting, okay, we're going to have a delay, and it's okay. It's terrible to live your life stressed.
Sorry to interject. I just had to double check that we are actually live on because we are talking about Mercury retrograde. I just can't believe that.
Well, look what I went through.
It's like I think she said POC live.
Then
so I don't know.
Oh. She's frozen.
Mariett, you're frozen.
Oh no.
Mariett, where are you?
Well, I will. Hopefully, we're live, and
hopefully,
I think Mercury retrograde a lot of times just asks us to slow down, to just kind of take a moment and think about what you're doing. People get freaked out. Everything's going to go wrong. No, it's not necessarily going to go wrong. It's just a matter of you taking the time to do what you can with what you've got from where you are and do it right as possible. And you can't stop your life because Mercury is retrograde. You keep going and you just pay. And it always, excuse me, brings something interesting, whether it is hey, did you know that you need to communicate a little better? Did you know that you need to listen a little better? Did you know that you're just blowing through things? You know,
or did you know that you need to check your technical things so that the next time everything is working? Where's your technical backup and things like that? Because like for me, yesterday I came to Italy and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a glow light and the place is really like soft lights and everything. I'm going to look like a vampire. So I had to go quickly to the Chinese shop and go, please, I need a light. And they were like, what, light bulb? No, light bulb. I need a proper light.
Guys, this is really amazing because we actually just live. Even the camera is frozen. We are live, believe it or not.
It's divine. It's divine. It's like, for me, it's like, just go back over. What have you got to check? You know, I know the area that it's aspecting, and it's like, I had a massive challenge, and I just worked it in a step by step process, and that avoids overwhelm for me.
But I think Laura makes a really good point, and it's something that I think many, many people around the world have completely lost connection with, is it's that ability to listen. So when the universe is yelling at you, people like us, we're meditating every day. We don't allow ourselves to stay in a state of stress. My attitude on Christmas, as long as I have people, a roof over my head that doesn't leak, anything else is a bonus. But
the electric's paid. There's food on the table.
To be fair, even if that's not paid, they're not going to rock up and lock me out on Christmas Day, are they? Because I can straight on Facebook and I've had them out of here.
Hopefully not, guys.
Laura makes such a good point about that ability to listen to what's going on. And I think with all of the skills that you guys have, you enable other people to just open up and just pay attention for a second. Because so few people seem to be capable of listening to this amazing knowledge that is free-flowing for every single human. And yet so few people seem to have access to it. That's terribly sad. Sorry to bring it down.
Well, I have clients that, you know.
Hi, Sally.
When Mercury is going retrograde, or they're having a lunar return, or, you know, they just freak out. And they're like calling me up and saying, Juanita, please help me.
What's going on?
But you know what I tell everyone about astrology? Even if you're having a bad transit, even if you're having a square, you know, a T-square, let's say, example, there's always a flip side to that. In other words, to me, everything in astrology has a flip side to it.
Yeah.
There's something to be gleaned from that transit. And you just have to find what that is.
Fully agree. Ladies, let's crack into the 2024. So do you remember your little crystals? Just to say hi, Christine, hi, Sally, and everyone else is watching. Just really wonderful to have you here. What we're going to do is all the ladies are going to give a really amazing insights into from their perspective for 2024. And I've got these amazing little crystals here. Everyone's got their personalized crystals already drawn. And I'm going to have this wonderful little kind of festive hat. And whoever crystals is going to be drawn, that's going to be the person on the stage. Are you okay, guys?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Laura, everything is fine. I'm checking the again with the technicalities. I'm on actually Facebook, so on Facebook everything is working. Okay. Even though that restream doesn't seem to be kind of showing that we are here and live, it's some miraculous way, shape, or form is actually working. And just an apology from Chrissy Hodges, who unfortunately lost her mom-in-law, and the funeral was yesterday, and she thought that she would be up for joining us this evening, but she really felt that she had to prioritize her own time. So we are just sending her big love and lots of healing energy, and we hope that we're going to do something amazing in 2024. So first one up is the Tektite lady. Who is the Tektite lady?
I think that's me.
Yay! So you are up. Yay!
Okay, well, my name's Jo, and I have been transiting a year 8 cycle. It's been an interesting year, to say the least. And actually, in numerology, my birthday number adds up to an 8. So it's a 1 and a 7, which adds up to an 8. And I'm very much in the flow of the universe guiding me. But I just wanted to kind of share some things that I learned. And I would probably have done this year differently with this kind of insight and this sort of information, because I felt it was very much a case of the universe was just showing me what I needed to hear, see, but I was definitely ignoring the signs. And I think there was a lot of overwhelm. Actually, I didn't clear the deck, I feel, at the end of last year. So all of that came in to this year. And I'm kind of calling it the 5 pitfalls that I've kind of learned or experienced along the way. And I want to share. So I'm just going to keep it sort of brief just to get the message across. Pitfall number 1, these are things to kind of be aware of and to avoid in 2024, because it's very much going to be a powerful year, isn't it, of abundance and power and balancing the two alongside your own self-expression. But pitfall number 1 to be aware of: ride the waves, but be aware of the undertone. Like, always be like, yes, this is an expanding kind of year, but be aware of the undertone. Because if you're kind of not prepared and you're not in alignment with your own year cycle, then it can really catch you off guard. That's what I found. I wish I'd perhaps prepared ahead. I've already prepared ahead to June next year already, with some sort of structure, with flexibility. So that's something I've really learned. Balance is key. 100% balance is key. Watch out for overwhelm, over promising, under delivering. Absolutely would have done that completely different. It's really is that case of your health and well-being is the most important thing. Not striving for success, but your health and well-being in balance. And I had 4 retreats this year, and I'm so glad I did, because I actually did get to balance my health and well-being, because it's one of my top values and priorities. Pitfall number 3 is embrace change. I think that's probably the biggest thing to take out, to share with people, is don't resist it. Just don't resist that change. And I think the people that are going to find themselves in turbulent water in 2024 are the people that actually resist change. So if you're really in a 9-year cycle in numerology, then it's going to be that year where you're going to have to let things go in a readiness for a new year cycle. So timing is really, really important. And just beware of impatience. Just be super, super patient with yourself and other people. There is divine timing. So trust in timing. Again, plan ahead if you can, but not be too rigid. And I think the biggest overall theme to share is that be prepared for a lot of personal growth, a lot, and to do things differently. And there's things I would have done differently. I made some investments that weren't very good. And the biggest investment I made was in myself, and getting alongside the right kind of group of people. So I think that's helpful. It is a whistle top sort of overview, but that's how I like to keep it. And then I can be working with universal law, and I can be very aware of my own energy and where I'm going into pitfalls. So I hope that's helpful. Any questions would be nice if you wish, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. So how we are transitioning, because 8 is kind of like really coming to the kind of the closing of the cycle with the 9. So how is this energy that is really, really best to manage with? Because now it's kind of like we are looking at the entire kind of closure, one more year, and then we are restart?
Well, it's a very expanding kind of year. If you think about it, not that I'm getting any kind of political, so I'm not going to get into that conversation, but there will be a general election next year in 2024. Bring that into your awareness. So we're talking about this grappling for power. Well, we're super powerful as we are. We don't need to, just be the peaceful warrior. That's powerful. Just be a woman who's like got their shit together and has got a lot of self-awareness. We don't need to grapple for power, but we do need to expand and grow. And that's what I said about personal growth. So the next year will be an 8-year cycle of balancing your personal power with your own individual abundance, wherever that comes from your skills, your gifts. Just work on that for the year. Then we will go into an ending year cycle of a year 9. So it'll actually be 2025. And that will coincide with Pluto coming out of Capricorn into Aquarius. And of course, we know what that's going to be potentially amazing moving forward.
Wow.
So
cool. Wow.
I think there's a lot to say, isn't there? And it's great to hear everybody else's take on 2024.
Absolutely. And I've got a little citrine with the gold bits. Citrine with who's got the citrine with the gold?
So when Mariett said, would I join you today? I did, as I've spent most of my life saying, I'm not an expert. Why am I here? I'm not an expert. But for me, my journey started when I was 17. I had health issues, which I have to this day, but I don't need any medication, touch wood. And my spiritual journey has grown and grown and grown. For me, I didn't really have a chance to notice the pandemic because my husband was doing his very best to die. My mother-in-law was being abused. The roof leaked and I had to find an extra 25 grand. There was a few things going on. I was a little bit busy. And I was running a full-time business and I was running another business that supported small businesses. So I was slightly busy, but I didn't get ill. And I think that is a massive part down to my spiritual journey. And we were coming back from, I don't know if any of you are based here in the UK. So here in the UK, there is an incredibly spiritual place called Pendle Hill in Lancashire. Now, my mother-in-law lives there and I like to go and stand at the top. There is a Pendle Hill stone in my office. Don't tell anyone. I only borrowed it. I'll take it back when they want it. And seriously, I've only borrowed it. I'll take it back anytime someone asks for it. It's theirs. And I've believed in this massive connection to things, and I've learned to accept it and just go with those flows. And people keep getting dumped in my path. And we were coming back from Pendle, where my mother-in-law is, and I'd been doing what they say is superhuman, and everyone else says, and nothing can be done, and then up rocks me, and we create miracles. And we was on the way back and I just got this message. I don't know how spirit works for everyone else because, as I say, I'm no expert. I just go, what? Fine. Yes. Okay. And I just go with it. And
you're coming. I said, you're coming. That's it.
Yeah, it fizzes through me and it goes all through my body and I can feel it now between all of us and our watchers. And I had this happen to me as we were coming down the motorway, and I opened Canva, which is something you can use if you own small businesses. And I made something, slapped it online, and went, I'm making this. And people went, we want in. So I created a spiritual version of my business community that's multi-award winning and has been going for 15 years. And it's never, ever going to be about me. And for me, my spirituality is connected to science as well. Some of my practices date back to Buddhism and since the start of humanity, since the first human slapped their hand on a cave wall and said, I'm going to leave my mark here. And people ever since then have said, well, why did they leave their mark there? What were they saying? What does it mean? Oh, he just had a dirty hand, the miserable people would say. But for me, it's never going to be about me. I'm just part of spirit, just going, listen, look, go over there and help those lots. So for me, it's about my job is going to be amplifying other people's voices, because I think Joanne is so right. We are Truly powerful people do not stand at the front and go, I'm powerful, pay attention to me, I am very, very powerful, listen, listen, listen. The really powerful people are just in the background, like they open their wings and bring everybody in, and they don't need to tell anyone they've done it. And I think that's where we have our power. That doesn't mean to say that we won't sometimes turn around and say, you can back off, you aren't allowed into this sphere of influence anymore. And I think we're going to see this massive shift into 2025 of us becoming far more aware. If we look at science and we look at market research, which I know you won't necessarily see here in this conversation, as consumers, we are becoming more aware of our world. What does that company stand for? Do they care about me? And I think the more we can just come from a place of love, amplify the clever voices, and just make sure everyone feels that connectivity, we're going to see this massive shift in the world. The hardest thing, I think, for many of us will be that with that change, we will lose people. There will be people who we've hung on to for years and years and years, like limpets, that just don't serve us well. And we love them very much, but we're going to need to love them from a distance. Because they're not fitting in. And you see this in every sphere of life. I'm as a coach, I hear people saying, I went live and my family took the mickey out of me, or I did this. And I say, hang on a sec, they're not your tribe. They're the people you came from, but that doesn't mean to say that you have to let them be the power in your future. And I think this connectivity that we create, and this wondrous thing that we're all in different countries, we've all got different ways we've come here, but we're all speaking from a place of love, connectivity, and want to amplify the good, and having this sphere of influence that matters. And isn't about becoming an MP and making money for ourselves. It's about making the world a nicer place. And I absolutely genuinely believe that one person can change the world. And if I didn't, I haven't bought from Amazon in 3 years. I will never buy from Amazon. It is killing our planet. It is destroying people. It has zero respect for anything that will be good into our futures. And I get people take the mickey out of me. What do you think you're going to do, Maddie Holgate? Just one person. Someone has to be that one person. And I think every single person needs to realize that they are that one person.
I love that spirit. I love that spirit.
We genuinely can change this world and make it better.
Yeah. Guys,
but I'm not an expert. I'm just here for the ride.
Sorry to interject. You're never going to believe it. For some reason, the event page is not streaming. We are only streaming in my group. Okay, so I'm trying to basically invite everybody into the group that please, we are live, we are going.
Something popped up on my page that says go live on your channels.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she said to ignore that.
Yeah.
But it was very technical.
Yeah.
And that we should just ignore it. Yeah.
I'm kind of worry, Mariette, because you've recorded it, so people can watch again afterwards.
Yeah. I'm just
go with the flow.
Repost it the whole video on everywhere. Tag you in, guys, etc., etc., etc. So. And Felicity, I so missed her, and I don't know what was her crystal, because I'm going to take her crystal. Little snowflake. Who's got the little snowflake?
Me.
Hey, Anna. Hey, all the way from Italy. You're very close to me. I'm just literally like half an hour from the border.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Chevalier, just on the other side of Sestria.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so for who doesn't know me, I am Anna Florio. I am a psychic. I am a healer. I am a transformational coach and mentor, or spiritual coach, depending where you want to see it from. And this year for me has been like, I've seen so many people doing exactly that. I was full in my business. Then at one point I decided, I just want to have a normal life. I will find a normal job, forgetting that I'm not normal in the first place, right? So I tried the normal life, normal job. Then in August, I was like, no, I'm sorry. I just can't do normal. So I went back to all my things. But in the meantime, I was still working kind of in the background with my clients, but not as full on. So I experienced normal life. I don't like normal life because I don't think I was born for that. Anyway, so what I've seen a lot of in 2023 is, first of all, people struggling against themselves because they were not listening to their own calling. And so they would do things that were completely out of alignment for themselves. They were completely like up in the air, like I try to be normal, stupid thing to do, but I had to try. And so one of the cards, because I've been picking up a few cards, one of the things I do is psychic tarot reading. One of the cards that really to me represented this is strength. I don't know if you can see it. So is this poor guy is trying to fight a lion. Hello, human force against lion force. That's something that it doesn't work. Right. And I feel that a lot of my clients and myself, we've been trying to struggle against things instead of going with the flow and in alignment. And another thing that I've seen a lot of is people that felt like they were almost like buried alive and they were trying to come out and they were really struggling for this. So another card that to me, in Italian is called the Judgment card. I think it's in English as well. Yeah. And it's this one. Now, if you see this poor guy, he's coming out of his own grave. And basically, he's got just the tip of the foot in and from the knee down of the other leg, but he's done. And what I think that lots of people have not realized during this year, that we've been working so hard and we've been actually digging ourselves out of whatever it is that we got caved into. And I think that 2024 will be the year when finally we see the fruits of all this hard labor that we've been having. So for me, it's about what can we do, not only to help ourselves, but to help our tribe, as I would call it. Because so many times I learned things like maybe I was just watching something on Facebook or watching a video or something, and that something clicked for me. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I need for me to step up to the next level for my own life. So I would like to give you some very practical tips at the moment. One of these is how you can handle stress. Now, we are like computers in a certain way, and we got rebooting buttons, but most people don't know about this. So for girls, but for boys as well. There are 2 points roughly around here. Consider my bra is here. So, roughly around here, that if you rub them, they can be quite tender. Can you feel them? You have to just wiggle a bit.
They are pretty tender.
Yeah. That means you've been under stress. But if you rub them for about a minute or two, gently, you don't have to make like a bruise on it. But if you rub them gently, what happens is that you reboot your system. And if you've been in a fight or flight type of situation, you are basically saying to your body, you can relax now. We're not in danger, because most of our danger is mental danger. It's not like we got a tiger running after us or anything like that, but the body is still reacting as if we did. Another thing, for example, do you ever get so stressed out you cannot think? Because all the blood goes from the frontal lobes, which are our more modern version of the brain, more thinking side, to the back, to the limbic brain, which is our fight or flight type of brain. It's called the reptilian brain as well. So something as simple as putting a hand on your forehead and a hand just at the back of your head will allow the blood to flow back at the front thinking part of us. A thing that we all girls do. Do you ever do this when you're stressed out or when you're in a discussion that doesn't?
I do it all the time.
Right? Right. Just behind the ear, but coming this way, we got one of the fight or flight energy lines, which when it gets activated, we're like, da, 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 da. When you do this, you're basically saying, calm down now. And we do it without even thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Or when you see the guys, if you're putting them in a situation where they feel like under pressure, don't they rub their own head at the back? Yeah? It's a soothing thing, but it works because what they're saying to their system is we got it under control. People like on passing, they do this. Yeah, and yeah. Actually, but what we're actually doing is to our body, calm down. Another very simple technique, which I have used so many times. If you're really crying hard, you do that kind of broken double breathing. You do the Yeah. I didn't know that the is actually the way for the body to calm itself down. So if you're really under stress and you do like maybe 3 or 4 of these, you don't have to kind of become like a hot air balloon. But if you do a couple of these or 3 of these, you actually tell your body is the mind that is going crazy, but we're not in danger, and you can calm down. Also, for example, I use a lot. Have you heard about Bach flower remedies or like Australian flowers? All those kind of things. They work on the emotions. And I feel that the moment our emotions are coming down, then we can actually act in a different way because we don't come from fear, we come from love.
Sorry to interject that we've got unfortunately the flower expert who just could not log in. She's supposed to be here, Felicity, and she's actually watching live. So all of us,
Felicity, we need you.
Big hugs and lots of love.
We love you. We need you. So Felicity will be able to tell you. But basically, look into Bach flower remedies because that's one of the things. Because our emotions are kept in the water of our cells, which is something we don't know. So a lot of the time we do all the mental work, but we need to do the physical work in order to rebalance ourselves. So something like that, those remedies will help you. But also think about it this way. Say, for example, when I'm working with the women coming out of narcissistic relationship, and there's a lot of them, and I used to be one of them. I used to like the bad boys, bad choice, but very enjoyable for a while, right? So narcissistic relationships are based on the fact that you already have a childhood wound that the narcissist can attach himself to or herself, because we got both sides narcissist, right? The 2024 is about healing yourself so that you will attract the right people for you, whether it's love relationship, whether it's work relationship, whether it's any kind of, connection, your tribe, all that kind of thing. Because you will not speak from your wounds, you will be speaking from your real true self, Also, I work, for example, with men going through divorce and separation because there's hardly any help for them at all. Yeah. But that means if we work with them, it means the next girlfriend will have a happy life rather than having to pay for all the things that he hasn't been dealing with that come from his past relationships. So it's about collaboration. I don't believe in men are here, women are here, I know more, you know less. No, we all put it together and we create like a banquet for everybody. Because you don't have to have everything. It's just like a beautiful puzzle. Everybody will put a piece of something else. So psychic reading, for example, is a way to look at your future in the same way that you ask your navigator in your car, I want to go from London to Birmingham, and it tells you this road is closed, this is the bumpy road, this is the scenic road, this is the shortcut, and then you decide. So for 2024, we have so many beautiful opportunities. We got so many experts in all sorts of things. So what about, the way I see it is, if you were born a Ferrari, why would you like to run like a Fiat 500? Right?
I'm telling you what, I love Ferraris. We can't park Ferraris and a Cinquecento. You can nip in and get your shopping done and get back out again.
Absolutely. But have you ever tried having a trip on a Cinquecento?
Yeah.
Forever. Right?
I think you've got max 1 minute.
Okay, so 2024, let's wake up our inner Ferrari and let's go for it. It's gonna be a really juicy year.
I think you're gonna remember that Cinquecento.
When you are born a Ferrari, why would you like to run like a Cinquecento?
I'll have both.
Who's got the quartz? Who's got the titanium quartz? Actually, Christy, she told me exactly what it is because I keep forgetting. This is a very, very special quartz. Is there anyone?
I have a blue metallic one, but I don't know.
It might be me because I thought I was the tektite at the beginning. They look the same.
Okay, Well, in that case, it's yours.
It's me, but that's fine because I didn't want to go first anyway. So thank you, Joanna. And basically, I think what I have to contribute kind of builds really well on what you say. Bear with me. This is the first live I've done. I'm not quite as experienced as you guys. So I'm Tamaheen is my name, and that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, I'm just working with very, very similar themes to what you have. I mean, because the theme of today's talk is 2024, I'm focusing on Pluto. I'm working with Pluto all the time. I resonate very much with Mandy's story. Pluto will bring you to the basics of survival. Like, do we have our basics in place? Okay, that's good enough for today. That's good enough, actually. Anything else is kind of luxury. So we know that we've had Pluto in Capricorn for the last 15 years. And we will go more into Aquarius next year. There's one retrograde in autumn. But basically, we are moving into Pluto in Aquarius, which is kind of where Joanna finished. So I thought I'd start visually. So this is where Pluto has been for the last 15 years.
Wow.
With the Devil card, assigned to Capricorn in Tarot. And this is where Aquarius will be, Pluto will be for the next 20 years.
Yay!
And I just thought, isn't that visually
what clarity?
That's different?
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So I mean, Pluto's about power. And when it's in Capricorn, it's power for the government to use for better or worse. And they've just gotten more greedy and more greedy because it's Earth, because it's material, because Pluto's about control. But with Pluto going into Aquarius, it's going to be power to the people. And I just thought we will see another face of Pluto. So I just I noted a couple of opposites. So if Pluto is about power and control, it's also about empowerment and taking back your power. And if Pluto is about destruction, it's also about regeneration because it's the phoenix. Yeah. If Pluto is about corruption and greed, it's also about retribution. You can be held accountable for your consequences by Pluto. And if it's about a loss of innocence, because there certainly was a time where we believed that the government was for our good, that we paid taxes for our services, etc., etc. It's now about maturation. Through a loss of innocence, you grow up and you take charge. So I'm really hoping for very much a new era. Power to the people. It is a revolutionary time. We know that the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, it was the French Revolution and such things. So there will be civil uprisings and demands for equality. It will bring more technical innovations, which I guess we have concerns about. Last year saw the introduction of AI, and I think technology is great, but if you've ever been a parent, you're always worried about screens and online interactions. But there's nothing to do about it. It's gonna happen. So my personal advice is for anybody who's worried about screens and increased technology, the way I ended up, because when I had my first daughter, we were living off grid. I had a lot of control about what she watched. they were only allowed DVDs that began and end. We had no television. Now with my third child, who's 10 years younger than my eldest is now an adult, my youngest is 9, it's much harder to control how much screen time she has. So instead of the constant battle of, oh, no screens, you know, I battle a bit, of course, everybody does, but I just shift my perspective to how many hours a day is she at school? How many activities do we do a week? How many times are we outside playing with friends? So just shift almost the power of technology onto, well, what else do we do that's really quality that isn't online, and avoid the kind of battle with it. Just keep the non-technological life and interactions quality, and keep investing. And it's the same with human relationships. People sort of say that I have a tribe online, like Maddie was saying. I have a great tribe online because the people of my Facebook world and the people who I make connections with and messenger with, that gets me on places like this, are real quality. And I have real proper deep friendships with people I've never met who are across the other side of the world. So no one can tell me my online isn't quality. It is. But my daily life connections are equally quality. So keep your real time human connections, eat together more, try and keep the dates that you make, even though life is overwhelming. And if anyone's like a beginner astrology, if anybody watching is a beginner astrology and you know you've got sun or rising in Aquarius, it's time to get a little bit more serious about your astrology and learn your degrees. So if you are around the early degrees of Aquarius, around two, things are going to change. Things really are going to change. Pluto aspects are life-changing, and it's good to be prepared for them. I've had Pluto aspects for about the last 10 years, and being Pluto dominant anyway, I've had a very Plutonian journey.
You are all about Pluto.
I'm all about Pluto. Everything is black. I'm all about, and my whole family. Yeah, like the lock. I mean, I don't know, Mandy, if you. I was listening to your story about lockdown, and I was sort of wondering about your maybe Pluto degree aspects or whatever. But
Would you like, if there's time, another time, I could feel about a year just with what's gone on in the last 10 years. And the irony is, none of it was my issue, but I went through this world like this, and all around me was
yeah.
And I just went through and fixed it, and anything that come up. But it's about flowing. It's about what you've just said there. It's about, I mean, I bet every single one of us here has had someone say to us, "That's not real conversations." People on Facebook. Well, I can
That's
assure
where
you,
I got my most support from.
Same here. Absolutely.
Really?
I got to meet, in fact, one of my friends, Anna, I have a sneaky suspicion she might live near you. Ruthie is in North Italy. I only met her a few months ago. We did not hit it off. She is American. I am British. I use sarcasm like it's some kind of super comedic brilliance. She spent most of the time looking at me like, in the end, me and my friends were going, "Ruthie, it's sarcasm." And she's like, I get it. But we have become, at the start we were like this, but within days, she is a sister. And I have all these sisters and these people around the world. And I actually think if it hadn't been for tech, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, but the vibration in this room right now, I don't know who brought the party and the cocktails, but I'm on them. And I'm on this water. But it's that energy, and we couldn't get that without tech. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We find each other, we resonate towards each other. I'm a moderator on a couple of astrology groups, and it's almost even like your filters are resonating because up will come the late degree Capricorns who are just like, what's going on? And I'm like, here I am to tell you all about it.
But, it was so interesting because I just kind of had this kind of like bing, and I put the post out, and I think the whole group was kind of like in an hour. I mean, we were like full. That's
together.
And I never expected this. Yeah. So anyone claiming a little, I think it's an Apache tier. Oh, Juanita.
I think it's mine. Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Juanita Ruiz. I live in North Georgia in the USA. However, I have dual citizenship with Spain. So, I kind of have lived my life kind of multi-continental, okay? My grandmother was brought over when I was small to raise me. My grandmother was Roma, Gitano. She was raised in the traditions of the Roma with the herbal healing. She was a curadera. She delivered babies and, did her herbal healing and candle healing. And so I grew up around this, and it was very normal, but then I got out into American society, and people were like, there's something wrong with you. Normal people don't behave that way, So anyway, I rejected my spiritual path when I was a teenager because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to be that. I wanted to fit in. But, I had so many experiences happen to me that were pushing me back to that path because this is what you need to do. You're a natural healer. You need to do this. So, and I don't want to mess up your name. Tamaheen? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm very Plutonian as well, even though I force myself to wear bright clothes because I have Pluto conjunct Mars in the 12th house. So I'm very, very dark underneath all this. So, my ability is mostly astrology for me is a tool.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely therapy.
Yeah, it's a tool. I mean, it's a way to rationalize what I psychically feel when I'm around someone.
Juanita, tell us a little bit about 2024. Tell us a little bit about,
okay,
how you see
what I think about Pluto. In July, we had a square to the nodes in July, and you notice in July a lot of people were protesting. There was trouble, at least here in the US. There was a lot of trouble with unions and all that kind of stuff when we had that exact square to the nodes, Aries Libra. Okay, now what we've got going on, we're at 29 Capricorn, and what's going on is everybody's getting angry. And when we go into Aquarius, you're going to see the beginning of a revolutionary energy. You're not going to see an all-out revolution. What you're going to see is people making plans to rebel.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going in November. It's going to go back retrograde into Capricorn.
Yeah.
So at that point, people are going to make solid earthly plans to rebel. When it goes forward motion in March, that is when you're going to see it. I would love to tell you good things, but I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling there's going to be a lot of war, a lot of conflict in the world. And I would love to be, a positive person. But on the flip side of that, Pluto shows us okay, like you have a log and you turn it over and it's got maggots under it. that's what Pluto does for us.
Yeah.
It flips over the rotten stuff to show us how rotten it is.
And then it purges. The purging
exactly.
of the rotten.
Exactly. It purges.
So it's really like a cleansing.
Yes, it purges the rotten and the toxic. And that is the only way you can heal. I tell people this. You have to get into that I see very ugly energy to be able to see how to fix it.
Yeah.
So that's the process we're going through right now. We're seeing how ugly things are. You know, things are being exposed. You see people going to jail for abuse. You see people going to jail for stealing money from the government. We have a guy, you know, in America that made 2 election workers' lives a living hell. Okay, now he has to pay him $50 million.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
Retribution.
Yeah, we're seeing the retribution. In other words, everything that has come up to be healed, and if you don't heal it, I tell people this, if you do not heal the ugly that comes up, there will be retribution. Bad things are going to happen. And I don't want to be a negative astrologer. I don't want to tell people, you know, but I'm not Pollyanna either. I'm not, you know, with all the Pluto stuff I got going on in my chart. I can't be, you know, I have to tell you the truth. Except my advice for 2024 is allow the toxins to rise so you can look at them and you can process them. You know, a lot of people don't want to look at these things. They don't want to look at the ugly. They don't want to look at the, you know, and a lot of people are dealing with it in a lot of different ways because of Neptune. You know, we've been dealing with a lot of Neptune transits too. A lot of people are drinking, using drugs, you know, using sex, you know, whatever, the pursuit of money. A lot of people are finding band-aids for what they really need to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell people this, I said, you've got to be brave. You've got to be courageous enough to look at that situation and whatever situation's going on in the world, in your personal life, among your friends. You know, my advice to everybody in 2024, stick close to your tribe. Stay with your tribe because you are going to need your tribe in the next few years.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Juanita. That was just amazing, amazing. And we've got the two Pluto experts here. I didn't even know that.
Well,
my God.
I didn't want to step all over Tanahim, you know, because me and Tanahim were on the same. I mean, I've got notes, okay? We were on the same track, okay?
But I mean, Pluto's going to be big in 2024, that's for sure. We've got a claimer here. We've got the claimer, Laura.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Yes, that's probably me then. Okay. All right. Well, for 2024, a lot of the things that I've kind of had coming up or that I see in play between just energy and all the different things that is that it's going to be kind of a weird, wild, interesting. Am I still here?
Oh, yes, you are. Felicity just joined us.
Okay. I think we have kind of a weird, wild, a little bit of a mystical, magical thing coming into the year, and with some really big changes for people that are willing to step in and work with that energy and work with that change process. And one of the ways, of course, me being me, working with the subconscious, I believe that the subconscious is very much a channel and an open connection to the universe. And when you step in and you make the changes for yourself first at that subconscious level, you're going to really open the door for the things to come in such a more flowing way and an easier way to allow things to really go in the direction that you want them to. Because, you know, with them talking about Pluto and the changes there, one of the big energies that's happening with that, with the world and the changes that come in, is people have been in a get it done. We've got to do the work. We've got to be in there, and we've got to, you know, make sure that things are the way they are for a very long time. And that's a very big energy, very, you know, kind of grounded, heavy energy that we've been working in. And so the people that are just now kind of coming into their own, and they're feeling the change, they're feeling the lift, going from this big, you know, earth energy into this, wow, this is an interesting light air energy. And now everybody's going, oh, wow, look at the ideas that can come from networking, from collaborating, from being there, from taking care of our communities and the people around us. But it's also a little bit disorienting for people that have been in that grounded energy for a very long time. It's like, whoa, you know, a little bit untethered, a little bit of, what do I do now? What do I, everything's kind of changing. What do I do? And so recognizing that, if you're feeling that within yourself and going, oh, okay, all that's happening here is that we're moving into a little bit of a lighter energy, one where, you know, it's not necessarily, I'm going to say it's not necessarily, and I don't mean to disagree with whoever just was speaking about, it's not necessarily about the people totally close to you. Definitely stay close to those, but be expanding out into all the different people that are around you, all the different versions of it, because that's where the change and the information kind of comes in. And, you know, we're going from a lot of old, interesting, but, you know, work hard stuff to, ooh, let's create, let's do, let's be, into those ideas and things like that. So play with that, enjoy that. You know, some of the people that are in that right now, that are starting to feel that, or coming into their own in this time, also are experiencing that energy in a way that says, yeah, that was the old way of doing things. I don't even, and so they kind of swing to the far side of it, where they struggle with committing a little. They struggle with choosing a way. They struggle with saying, oh, I do need to kind of maybe make some roots and go in the way that I want to. They might be bouncing around a lot. And so for them, it is bringing in a little bit of that groundedness and saying, you know what, that's great. Expand, play, have a good time. But anchor in every now and then and see where you're at, see what's going on in the world, and for you, in your world. And also, one of the things that I love that's been going on kind of for a while, but now it's a little bit of a shift, and I'm going to speak, you know, astrology speak for the people, is Neptune's been traveling through Pisces for a good while, which is its little home, and it's happy, and it's wonderful. Now we have Saturn kind of coming in, so we have this dreaminess that's been going on. But what I've really put forth to people, and I really want to put forth to people now, is that's like an open door. It's like the veil is parted, and anything in the mystical, magical world that you want to learn, that you want to tap into, that you want to have fun with, do it. Tap on it, like put it in your cart, you know, for shopping. You don't have to dig deep into it right now, but by simply bringing it into your awareness, because awareness is everything, bringing it into your awareness is like putting it into your library right now. And it might actually it's going to come so much easier for you in the future by tapping on it now, by bringing it in. Ooh, I'm interested in astrology. Go find a course, go find a mentor, go find something. Ooh, I'm interested in hypnosis. Bring that into your cart, put that in, because what's going to happen, what I believe, and whoever can say something different, that's fine. But with that veil wide open right now, we have that direct channel that's going on. And so it's so much easier for us to download and learn. And when that veil closes, when it leaves, it's not that it's not accessible, but it's almost like having a foot in the door for those people that went and tapped on those things, because you still have that open channel. Yeah. You're going to have that ability from now on. So do it now. Do it while you can, and have the clarity that's there. And the other thing with Saturn kind of coming in there is, I think that especially for people who have anything in their life lessons and their life purpose that says, hey, I'm in the mystical magical, it's going to be a bit of a check-in for you, and saying, Are you doing what you're meant to be doing?
Mm.
Are you doing those things? Are you being willing to connect, to allow those things into your life and not be afraid of them, not be in the closet with them, not be any of that, because this is your life purpose. Work with it, play with it, be in it, and show the rest of the people who you really are. So whatever it is that you're interested in going into 2024, start with the subconscious, clear the way, hit the reset button, and be ready and clear the crap out that you no longer need, so